Next topic is strain gauge load cell. So before going to discuss about strain gauge load cell, first we need to know about what is the relation between the strain gauge, strain and stress. The strain and stress relation is a linear relationship. So whenever we the relation between the stress and the strain is a linear relationship. So it's mean whenever the stress increases, strain also increases. So this is the linear relationship. What does mean that in a sense? So if suppose for example, I am telling here one example. If the sitting capacity of the bus is just 100 members, but we are loaded suppose for example 150 members, so there is a little bit distance between the person to person, but after few minutes we loaded 200 members. Then what will happen? The person to person, the distance is very less, and it will be a very stress between a person to person. Because of that, the persons, it's mean whatever it may be, the human beings in that particular bus, the entire people will get a strain. What is meaning, exact meaning of a strain? In the sense, suffer something. So that suffer we are getting due to the certain force, whatever it may be, the force. Okay, the same thing here also. That force we can indicate it with the stress. Due to the stress, the strain is increases. Because of that, we are taking strain and stress both are a linear relationship. So due to this strain and stress, the material values will be completely changes. So how it will be a change in the sense? So suppose for example, we are taking in our electrical engineering. So resistance R is equal to, the formula is resistance R is equal to rho L by A, rho L by A. So here the L is a length of the material, whatever it may be the material we are taking, whether the material is a conductive material, whatever it may be the material. So that length changes automatically. What will happen? The resistance, the resistivity of the material will be changed. It's mean the resistance and length, those two are a linear relationship. Okay, so it's mean linearly varying in the sense length increases, then resistance also increases. It's mean these two letters are directly proportional. So it's mean R is directly proportional to the length, and as well as we are taking according to the cross sectional area of the material, we are taking, if cross sectional area of the material will be increases, the resistance will be decreases. That is the relation is completely inversely proportional. So resistance R is inversely proportional to the cross sectional area, inversely proportional to the cross sectional area. So these are the two basic things. So because of that, here also talk about the theory of the strain gauge load cell is, the basic principle is whenever a steel cylinder is subjected to a force, so that force either we are taking as a compression or otherwise stretched. So due to the certain force, okay, because of that it tends to a change in the dimensions of that particular material. So whatever it may be the material we are taking, okay, so whenever we are applying a certain force or a compression on that particular material, automatically the dimensions of the material will be changed. So on suppose for example, here we are taking one cylinder. Okay, here we are taking a one cylinder. So on that cylinder we are applying a compression or stretched by using certain force. Due to that compression, here the length of the material and the diameter of the material will be changed. Due to that change, it's mean due to length and the dimension change, the strain gauges causes its resistance also to be changed. Okay, so that is the major thing here, the basic principle. So the basic principle is whenever we are applying a force or a compression on a cylinder, the cylinder dimensions and length will be changed. Due to that change, length or diameter change, the resistivity will be changed. Okay, so that resistivity we are measuring by using the Wheatstone bridge. So we'll go for explanation or operation of the strain gauge. In the sense, this one is a basically a strain gauge load cell. So you remember here always, here we are taking one cylinder. So this one is a cylinder here. So this one is a cylinder. Okay, so this cylinder having a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. This one is a vertical axis and this one is a horizontal axis. Okay, so we are applying a load at bottom and top. At top and bottom we are applying a load. So what is meaning of load? In the sense, the load is a compression or otherwise stress or stretch, whatever it is. So we are applying a compression bottom to top. Okay, so that cylinder we are taking, this one is a line diagram. Basically we are taking that cylinder top of the cross sectional area like this. So we are taking a 4 arms of the cylinder in vertical direction and a horizontal direction of the top of the cylinder. So vertical direction we are taking the cylinder resistances R1 and R4, and horizontal axis we are taking R2 and R3. So initially we are not applying any force on that particular cylinder. So R1 and R2 and R3, R4, all the resistances are, it's mean the entire cylinder resistance is completely a constant. Okay, it's mean equal resistances in 4 arms of the cylinder. Okay, whenever we are applying a compression or a force on that particular cylinder vertical axis, it's mean in this axis, what will happen? The R1 and R4 resistances will be decreases because we are applying a compression on the top of R1 and bottom of R4. In the sense, what will happen? The length of the material, it's mean the vertical direction length will be decreases automatically. What will happen? The horizontal way of length will be increases. So our formula is what? Actually the formula already we discussed. Resistance R is equal to rho L by A. That is our actual formula. Okay, so if any case length decreases, automatically what will happen? The resistance will be decreases. Okay, and the length increases, resistance also increases. So which arm length is decreased here? In a vertical direction length will be decreases. Because of that, R1 resistance and R4 resistances are decreases. And which length is increases? R2 and R3. It's mean horizontal way of the axis length is increases. Because of R2 and R3 resistance will be increases. Whenever the total entire R1, R2, R3, R4 resistances will be changed, in the sense the output voltage in a Wheatstone bridge will give a different value. Whenever the 4 arm resistance R1 and R2 and R3 and R4, all the resistances are constant and is same equal resistance in a Wheatstone bridge, we can assume like a cylinder 4 arm resistances. At the time the meter will shows only a null deflection. It means 0 value. There is no any value in a output voltmeter. Okay, the output voltage is completely a 0. Whenever we are applying a compression on the material, automatically what will happen? All the 4 arm resistances will be changed. Because of that change in the resistance will give a different output voltage in a measuring meter. Okay, due to that voltage we can decide how much of compression or how much of load or how much of force we applied on that particular cylinder. We will decide it by the output voltmeter voltage. Okay, suppose for example 10 voltage is there. So according to 10 voltage, how much of stress we applied on the cylinder, and as well as according to that stress, so what actually the R1 and R4 resistances due to the change of the length of the vertical axis, and what are actually the R2 and R3 resistance in the horizontal axis due to the change of the length. So because of that resistance change in the resistance, it will give a different output voltage. Okay. We can talk about always. So the stress or a stretch or a force or a compression is increases. Suppose for example, we are taking a stress. Finally, we can take about stress in the sense, what will happen if stress increases, then automatically what will happen? The strain also increases. The strain is directly proportional to the stress. Because of that, strain also increases here, and strain increases due to that stress. Automatically what will happen? Length will be changed. That length also different in a horizontal way and a vertical way. So which axis length is decreases, automatically what will happen? Suppose for example, we are applying vertical way of compression. So in a vertical way of compression, in the sense vertical way of axis is length is decreases. Because of length here decreases, in the sense automatically what will happen? According to that, resistance also decreases. Okay, resistance also decreases. It's mean R1 resistance and R4 resistances will be decreases here. So according to that resistance decreases, then automatically what will happen? The flow of current will be increases. Whenever the resistance is decreases, flow of current will be increases. So according to the flow of current will be increases, the voltage will be decreases. Voltage will be decreases. Okay, so that voltage measured by the meter in here. Okay, in a Wheatstone bridge. According to that output voltage, we can decide remaining values. What actually, suppose for example, the meter measures output voltage is 20 volts. Okay, 20 volts measured by this output voltmeter. Okay, output voltage. According to 20 volts, what actually the flow of current in that particular circuit? According to flow of current, what actually the resistance in 4 amps? What actually the resistance in the 4 amps? What actually the length of the 4 amps material? And what actually the length of the material? According to that, we can find out the strain. According to the strain, we can find out the stress. This is the analysis in a load cell. It's mean strain gauge in a load cell analysis. Okay, you remember. This is the final value we are measuring by using the strain gauge load cell analysis here. Okay, the applications you remember always. The application, the strain gauge load cell are used in a vehicle weigh bridge and tool force dynamometer. Okay, and strain gauge are used in the force measuring devices. Strain gauges are used in the measurement of vibration and as well as acceleration. Okay, so the strain gauge formula already directly we are taking here, change in the length by original length. So what actually the change in length? That change in length always we are indicated with the letter D. Okay, so that length by the original length. So when the change in length will be applicable here, in the sense whenever we are applying the stress on that particular material, at the time only the length of the material will be changed according to the length of the change in the length of the material and original length. So we can those two ratios, it will indicate the dimensions of the material. That dimensions it indicated the strain. So this is the strain gauge load cell analysis.